Hi, you're watching Patadendron, and this is your beginner guide to plant shopping inside a garden center. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And if you're new here, hi, welcome, I'm Patrick, and I love plants. And if you do too, you should definitely hit that subscribe button. I love going on these planty adventures and taking you along with. So if that sounds like something that could be fun for you, then definitely hit that subscribe button. In today's video, I'm excited to be doing something a little different. I wanted to go through Armstrong Garden, which is one of the biggest chains of garden centers here in California. But I wanted to go through and do a guide to plant shopping for beginners. So I'm going to show you all of my favorite beginner-friendly plants and kind of go through the care and show you all the plants that you should get if you're wanting to expand your collection. So I hope you stay tuned and stick around because this will be a very informative, fun shopping guide for plant collectors that are just starting out. Let's go plant shopping. So many plants. I think we came on a good day. They might have just restocked and they're still receiving some stuff. Let's start at the 4-inch pots. We have these Alocasia polys, the Amazonica, for $9.99. But I got a 6-inch one for $9.99 at Sprouts. So keep your eyes peeled for those at Sprouts if you're in the market for an Alocasia poly. My dream plant right now is a variegated Alocasia poly. I really want one. Got beautiful Philodendron Brazils. These are $8.99. That's some really cool looking leaves. I love that one. Love the Brazil. There's some neons. These are $9.99. These are kind of overpriced if you ask me. I feel like Pothos should be in about like the $6.99, $5.99 for a 4-inch. I think that's the fair price. $7.99 for golden Pothos. Got some marble queens. The marble queens are $12.99. And the Scindapsus pictus is $12.99 as well. Except for this one. See, this one knows what a fair price is. Aphelandra squarosa. I really like this plant. This is a good beginner's plant. To me, this is like a large-sized Fittonia. These hold all their water in the veins, so when they're thirsty, they kind of droop. They're one of the drama queens, and then you give it some water and it perks right back up. And then it also flowers too. So this is a really fun plant for a beginner, I think. Pothos and Joy. I'll always recommend this for beginners. This is great. It's a fun pothos. It's not just all green. It's got some really beautiful variegation in there. You got some darker greens with the lighter greens and then the cream variegation. Really pretty. And it trails and cascades beautifully. So can just imagine a beautiful, long trailing pot of this would make such a nice statement. And if you are a beginner, this is one that you will love, I feel like, even as you progress and grow more plants, because it's just beautiful, it never gets old. String of Hearts. String of Hearts is great. This is a good, if you want to graduate from Pothos, String of Hearts is a great plant to take home. There's variegated String of Hearts. This one's actually really hard to find, or it can be. Oh, and these are really pretty. I love that. See, I love that marbling look in the back of the leaves. Oh, these are tempting me. I already have String of Hearts, but see, as you can tell, variegated String of Hearts never gets old. Man, that is so pretty. These are doing a fine job of calling out to me. Yeah, so this is another that's beginner friendly. Give it plenty of water and humidity, and the hearts will stay nice and plump like that. Lots of light too. So the light gives it that pink hue. Oh, and it's flowering. Okay. Variegated String of Pearls. Now, a lot of people have a hard time with String of Pearls, me included, the variegated kind. What happens with me is that I forget about it. And I'll just realize I'm like, my String of Pearls! And they're usually like shriveled up on a windowsill. It's a little sad. Maybe I'll give it another shot some other time. But these are beautiful. $29.99 for this. Very good price, I think. We got some String of Turtles. String of Turtles is a little more on the difficult side. So if you're feeling a little brave and want to take on a more difficult string of things, String of Turtles would be it. String of Turtles loves humidity. So if you can provide that really high humidity, then I say go for it. Here's some more really beautiful variegated String of Pearls. Don't they look like marbles? Love that. Micans. Micans is great. This is basically a Philodendron heteroecium, which is like the basic heartleaf philodendron. It's just velvety. So this is a good entry level into some velvet leaves. These are $24.99 for the 4-inch, although you could probably find it for like a lot less. So I wouldn't pay $24.99 for a 4-inch. And here are some carnivorous plants. Now, you will often find carnivorous plants grouped together, but just know that the Drosera and the Sarracenia and Venus flytraps all kind of require different care. I feel like the full sun that the Sarracenia and Venus flytraps require, which is this one, is too strong for the Drosera. It'll just burn the leaves on that one. So these require full sun, bog conditions, so nice distilled water. Let it sit on top of the distilled water. Don't let it dry out, and give it full sun for the Venus flytrap or the Sarracenia. That's what's helped for me. And the Droseras are great on windowsills. I still don't let them dry out. I let them sit on top of distilled water, but they require a lot less sun. Here's another Sarracenia. It's also known as the North American pitcher plant. But aren't they beautiful? This is the piggyback plant. I notice I only see these like in the early spring, but these are fun. See? Isn't that cute, the way that they grow? I hear that these are pretty thirsty though, so just keep that in mind. Pachira aquatica. See, this is a plant that I feel gets often overlooked because they're everywhere. It's so common, but it's common for a reason, because it's fairly easy to keep alive. And who doesn't need a little luck, you know? I love that it has some good luck, abundance bringing properties. And I feel like it's a really beautiful plant as well. See, I love the leaves. It's a cool looking leaf. ZZ plant. ZZ plant will be on everyone's list for best beginner plants, because this is a forget it or set it and forget it type of plant. You just water it every month or two when you remember, and you're good to go. It doesn't even require as much light as other plants, so it's a nice, very easygoing plant. It'll love it in your home, I promise. Now, if you are a beginner, Hoyas are awesome. See, Hoyas are dangerous because you can fall into a Hoya rabbit hole like myself and come out a totally different person. Hoyas are fun. You know, once you get one to bloom, you'll be addicted, I promise. And they're super easy. What I love about Hoyas is that they're really easy to propagate. All you need is a little bit of stem and leaf and some moisture like in your substrate, and it will root. I said it will rot. No, it will root. There are so many different kinds of Hoyas. This is a pubicalyx, and even under the pubicalyx umbrella, there are many different types of pubicalyx. So that leaves a lot of potential for collecting. This is a Hoya Crimson Queen. All Hoyas that are common, so you'll see like a pubicalyx, a carnosa Crimson Queen, which is a variegated Hoya carnosa. I feel like I'm going too fast if you're just a beginner, but just know there are many different types of carnosas and pubicalyx, and they all pretty much require very similar care. Just very easy. Water it when it's dry. They even love it outside in a shady spot. So nice bright indirect light. Come see what all the fuss is about with Hoyas. Took me a while to get there, but boy, I'm there. Monstera deliciosas. These are great for beginners. Iconic, really. Like, it's a quintessential houseplant for the beginner collector, or all collectors, really, because more advanced collectors are showing off their huge monsteras. See? And We have this. This is the Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. Look at how pretty it is. I love the little, they look like piercings. Those are called fenestrations. Fenestrations are the splits in the leaf and the holes. And you'll probably see this as a Monstera minima. Just know that it's not a Monstera at all. It's actually a Rhaphidophora. Dieffenbachia. Dieffenbachia is a great beginner plant. Just don't try to chew it because it's poisonous. Also, if you have pets that are more curious or are into chewing your plants, definitely keep these Dieffenbachias away. It's also known as, now I don't, it's also known as, its common name is the dumb cane, which I really don't call it that. I just like to say Dieffenbachia. But it's called that because how people aren't able to speak after they chew it. So, yeah. But I just like to say Dieffenbachia. A lot of times I find that some of the names we gave plants just didn't age well, you know? So that's why I like to stick with its proper taxonomy. That way it's just friendlier. Philodendron Brazil. I still obsess over Philodendron Brazil. So this is an easy, great beginner plant that also doesn't get old. This will kind of just grow beautifully as your love for plants grows beautifully. These almost look fake. They're so perfect and shiny. This is a peace lily, also known as a spathiphyllum. This particular one with the really big leaves is called the Spathiphyllum sensation, and it just looks floppy like that because it's thirsty. All it needs is a little bit of water, and then after it drinks all of that up and rehydrates, the leaves will kind of stiffen back up and it'll stand a lot better. But this is what it looks like when it needs water. Just know that, and don't panic. It's gonna be okay. There's this really beautiful Pothos enjoy. Those leaves are pretty. They've reverted, but I like the shape, and they're still kind of silvery, which I love. So this 8-inch pot of Pothos enjoy is $50, but see what I mean? Once this cascades over the whole pot, it'll look so beautiful. The Scindapsus pictus. This is my all-time favorite plant to suggest to beginners because it is still one of my favorite plants. I still constantly buy pots of these, and I still constantly get tempted to buy more pots like this one. Although 50 seems to be a lot. It is a nice big pot though, and it's so full. So maybe not. This is really pretty. Scindapsus pictus is also known as a satin pothos, but it is not a pothos or an epipremnum. See? But it is just as easy to care for. And I love all the silver. Like, it has these silver splashes, and some leaves are almost all silver. This is beautiful. This is so beautiful. Yeah, if you don't have a Scindapsus pictus exotica, get yourself one. You won't regret it. Oh, this is an Aschenanthus. This lipstick plant is so pretty. I love the way that the leaves kind of just cascade over. It's a really pretty growth pattern. And these flower too, if you give it enough light. These have really bright, beautiful flowers that look like lipsticks. That's why it's called the lipstick plant. Another great one for beginners. See, a lot of popular plants are great for beginners. They're popular for a reason, as I've said before. I see some syngoniums back there. Those kind of have a pothos-like will to live. Syngoniums are super easy to keep alive. This one is, I believe, the Berry Illusion, maybe? Oh no, Syngonium Golden. Syngoniums are fun. Ficus elasticas are really great. I think they're super easy. You just water them when they're dry. They love a good shower too. Gets the leaves nice and clean. But both of these are great. The variegated kind, the Ficus elastica tanica. This is the ruby and the burgundy. And these are all great. And they get more. Whoa. Just got distracted by these Stromanthe flowers. I didn't even know they could flower. Whoa, that's so cool. Anyways, these get more impressive the bigger they grow, and these will grow into like full-on trees if you keep it alive for long enough. Ficus lyrata, not so much, not as easy. It's a lot easier to make these unhappy and they'll not look as pretty. These, easy. Ficus lyrata or the fiddle leaf fig, I know it's trendy, but just know you're in for a little bit of a challenge, and that's okay too. Just be warned. Here are the ZZ plants, some new ones that I was talking about earlier. Set it and forget it. Water it every month or two. These are prayer plants. Prayer plants are a little more demanding in humidity and all that kind of stuff. So I don't really recommend these for beginners, but if you really like them, you do you. You know, Calatheas get a lot of hate, but not from me. That's cool. Here are some Alocasia black velvets. Whoa, this one's cool looking with that long leaf. They're not as easy as the Polly or the African mask or the Amazonica, but they are beautiful and still like, they're not like that difficult for being a velvet leaf. It's actually, of all the Alocasias, this has suffered the least amount of pest pressures, which is really good. You know, Alocasias are notorious. Alocasias are notorious for attracting spider mites. So, but the black velvet, in my experience, spider mites have not touched my black velvet. This is a black pagoda lipstick plant. This is a good beginner plant and it's super cool looking. This is related to the lipstick plants that I showed you earlier, but these have really cool foliage, and they also flower, although the flower isn't as spectacular as the regular lipstick plant. You know, you can't have it all, right? Flashy flowers and leaves. But I think it's still really cool looking. It's got these really pretty, like, yellow with a little bit of red in them, the flowers. Now, these are called goldfish plants because of the goldfish flowers. Someone commented in one of my previous videos that the goldfish plant is underrated, and I have to agree. I think goldfish plants are so cool. I love the ones with the red underneath. These don't have it, but some of them have like red splashes underneath, and that looks cool to me. These are Marantas. These are also prayer plants, but in the world of prayer plants, I feel like Marantas are the easiest, and they're not as demanding with the water. I give mine tap water all the time, and I don't get crispy edges. What's cool about prayer plants, if you are not familiar, is that the leaves move, and that's what I like about them. I love how the leaves fold up at night, and during the day they kind of splay out so that they can photosynthesize as much as possible, like little solar panels. This is another Maranta. So this is the red Maranta, and this is the Maranta leucanura. The leaves are a little bit thinner on the Maranta leucanura, so I feel like the red Maranta is a lot easier to care for. But that's not saying that this is very hard. It's still easy. These are more Hoyas. So these are the 6-inch pots of the Hoya Crimson Queen. So there's two types of variegated carnosa that's commonly distributed. This is the outer variegated one, and it's called the Crimson Queen. There's an inner variegated carnosa, and that's called the Crimson Princess. But look at this gorgeous leaf. That's pretty. Tradescantias are also super easy. These are great beginner plants. They are easy to propagate. The success rate of propagating Tradescantias is pretty much almost 100%. Polka dot plants, I know these are really cute and attractive, but these dry up really easily. All it takes is one forgetting and you're done. This does not bounce back. If you forget to water it, it will look quite sad really fast. So unless you're willing to stay on top of the watering, I would stay away from this. Unless you are willing to stay on top of this with the watering, I would stay away. Although they're not that expensive. So if you really want one, go ahead. Just know that they're thirsty. They also do really well in terrariums. So you can do that. Keep it enclosed. Oxalis. Oxalis is fun. It comes out every spring. There's green and there's purple. All these flowers on the green one, though, is making me like these greens. Oxalis is also pretty easy, and these you'll eventually move outside. But wow, look how full that is. I feel like a lot of these should be outside. You know, hydrangeas, mini roses. they'll do a lot better outside, and the same goes for croton. I fell for croton when I first started collecting plants, and I kept mine inside, and it did so much better once I put it outside. Yeah, these are outdoor plants in my opinion. We got some Calatheas, pretty Calatheas. But everything that people say about them, it does stem from truth. So I wouldn't suggest these for beginners. Domino peace lily though, yes. Domino peace lilies are beautiful. I love the variegated leaves. They have like a nice kind of splash to it, and it has a cool texture. I like looking for ones with really strong sectoral, like sections of white, like big sections of white. Those are cool looking to me. These are $34.99. Sometimes if you go to local nurseries, they'll have it for a little bit less than that. A lot less actually, like half the price. Bonnie spider. Bonnie spider plant is a great beginner plant. Spider plants are cool because when they're happy, they put out these babies, and those you could propagate and turn into whole new plants. There's no examples of babies in there, but just trust me. Ivy. I feel like ivy is a beginner trap because they're so invasive. They'll grow like crazy outdoors. Indoors, they're kind of pest magnets because they're a lot happier outside. And then once they are outside, they'll just kind of take over your whole house. So I don't really recommend ivy. This is the creeping fig. It's got these paper thin leaves, so kind of like the polka dot plant. These dry out, and once they do, they won't look good. So not that great for beginners. And this is a Scindapsus pictus argyrius. I was gushing over the Scindapsus pictus exotica, which are these. This is its little brother with the smaller leaves. This is the argyrius, and these have, I don't know, actually I think this might be a silvery Ann, because silvery Anns are more uneven in the splashes. I don't think this is the argyrius. The argyrius has even splashes all throughout all the leaves. These have like heavier parts of the leaf where it gets more splashing, so I'm pretty sure it is the silvery Ann, although they do look very, very close. It's easy to mistake the two. Still really pretty. But see, here's the difference between the smaller leaf. This is the Scindapsus pictus silvery Ann and the exotica. And then there were ferns. This is the rabbit's foot fern. See, it's got these really cool tarantula-like rhizomes that these fronds grow out of. And these are easy. These are great. And I feel like it's a rite of passage to have a maidenhair fern and watch it slowly wither away, because they're so beautiful, they're so romantic until you take it home. My cat actually loves the maidenhair fern, and lucky for me and him, it's not poisonous, but he really loves it. And what might be, well, it's one of my favorite ferns. This is the staghorn fern, Platycerium bifurcatum. These are cool because the leaves are these very thick leaves. They're solid feeling, and they're really easy to care for too. And they get really big too. They live for, I mean, you can have this for decades, and it'll kind of turn into this big ball. Super fascinating. Oh, there are more peace lilies. So this is the other type of peace lily. This is the platinum mist. And then this is the regular. Another pretty plant for beginners. And of course there is the regular heartleaf philodendron. This one has huge heart leaves. So cool. Easy to care for. Treat it like a pothos and it will reward you like a pothos. And these require the same exact care as the regular heartleaf. This is the Philodendron Brazil, which I love. And the Philodendron Lemon Lime, which I also love. I can't talk about beginner plants without touching on the Aglaonema. These are great. You know, they're office plants for a reason. African violets. African violets. Wow. I haven't grown any. I feel like these are safe to say that they're great for beginners. Just don't get the leaves wet. Wow, that's beautiful, isn't it? How much are these African violets? None of them have stickers. I do like this one that's variegated. That one's stunning. Oh, and another stunning one. These flowers sparkle. I never knew that. So cute. And orchids. Orchids are great. These are easy. I'm going through an orchid phase right now, and I'm loving it, so I can't recommend orchids enough. Now, I haven't had orchids long enough to get one to rebloom, but I feel like I know how. I've been doing some research. Oh, here is that two-tone one that I saw at Green Thumb with the big leaves. It's cool. And my one advice for orchids, Phalaenopsis especially, is to not water it with ice cubes. I hear they don't like ice water. Oh, I like Phalaenopsis that look like this. You know, it's a little different from that. Can you see the difference in the flowers? I feel like this one's really cool looking compared to the other ones. As soon as I get mine to rebloom, I'll definitely show you how I did it. Oh my gosh, look at all these coleus. This one's pretty. So this is, I think this goes under the category of should be outside. But I love its bright foliage. This Kong mosaic is beautiful. Main Street Sunset is beautiful too. Oh, these are really pretty too. Henna. Ooh, I like the name. These are all $8.99. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked now because we're going into landscaping plants, but these geraniums totally caught my eye. This is the geranium brocade Mrs. Pollock. Oh, and the flower is really pretty too. Well, it's hard to go to an Armstrong without checking out the cacti and succulents, so we're gonna do just that. And for beginners, these can be easy depending on your location. So if you receive a lot of rain, I would shelter these and keep these away from receiving too much rain. This is cool. Look at all those. Can't wait to see how they look once they bloom. But yeah, just shelter it from the rain. Sorry, it's a little loud from the traffic. You know, keep it in a nice south-facing window so it receives all the light that it possibly could. But if you are in California or in a drier area, these are really easy. You kind of just put them outside, give it a little bit of shade, and water sparingly, depending on how hot it is. You know, if it's very, very hot and dry, you can water them once a week. Nothing really to stand out other than these Haworthias. Haworthias are cool. They cool looking. Here's another Haworthia. This is the Haworthia cooperi. Well, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. I had so much fun showing you all of the beginner-friendly plants here at Armstrong Garden Center. Now, they should have a pretty similar selection to other garden centers near you. So I hope you learned something new and maybe added some new plants to add to your wish list. Just know that plants that are here at garden centers are popular plants, and they're popular for a reason. Now, some might be a little more finicky than others, but if you notice, we went through almost all the plants there, and they're all pretty much beginner friendly other than the ones that I said to stay away from, like the Calatheas. But even then, if you're feeling brave enough, who am I to stop you from trying out a Calathea, right? I love Calatheas. Oh, and I wanted to special shout out someone. Marta, it was so nice to meet you. Thank you so much for saying hi. It was really cool. They had some nice plants and I hope you found some good ones. I'm not getting any plants today, but I had a lot of fun and I hope you did too. And if you like this video, you know what to do. Please throw me a bone and give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of my plant videos, come plant shopping with me. Hit that subscribe button. I can't wait to see you in the next video. I just don't want to miss you too much. So if you could show me some love in the comments and I'll meet you there. Bye!